Hey guys, the Firebird is here, and oh my god, the promised day is upon us. The new trailer is finally out, and in this video, I'll be breaking it down for all of you. We'll be going over the trailer, some stuff that doesn't get mentioned in the trailer, toys, leaks, and stuff like that. There's just so much to cover, and if I do end up missing anything, you can bet I'm gonna make a part 2. And tomorrow I'll make another video going over all the characters that are confirmed to be in the movie, including the ones from the trailer, the ones that got leaked from way back when, the ones from the test screenings, and the ones that are recently leaked because of the toy line. So yeah, it's the Transformers 1 hype week, so get excited! It's also the beginning of the Fire's Not Allowed to Sleep time period of the hype train. But before we go on, do consider becoming a patron of our channel, baby. It's really cool and you'll be helping out the channel. Okay, I'll stop. That's not what you guys are here for. Let's jump right into it. So the trailer starts with Orion Pax and Megatron apparently in some kind of detention facility. They apparently just got into trouble. We don't exactly know why by this point, but later in the trailer we do get an idea why. This is our first looks at Orion Pax and Megatron, and I've seen a lot of complaining about the designs here, saying they look too weird, but these designs are incomplete. As the movie goes on, Orion Pax and Megatron will evolve gradually into designs will resemble more like they do traditionally, especially later in the trailer where Megatron looks almost exactly like he does in his, G1 counterpart, or even the Bumblebee movie Megatron. And Orion Pax just looks way more traditional. Also, interesting enough, Megatron has like the Decepticon insignia almost like engraved on his shoulder. It almost looks like a burn mark. And he has it all across the trailer. So it's unknown if he did this intentionally, if it was given to him, or if it has some kind of deeper meaning. Also, Orion Pax here is voiced by Chris Hemsworth, while Megatron is voiced by Brian Tyree Henry. Now, I'll be completely honest, I think Chris Hemsworth does a really good job as Orion Pax. It's gonna take some time to get used to, but if I were to picture a younger, irresponsible version of Optimus Prime, aka Orion Pax, I think this is what I expect. Megatron is where I actually feel a lot of like contention with. I don't particularly like his voice that much. Maybe it'll grow on me, but for now, like, I don't like it. Now here we have one of our first character reveals. This apparently is Darkwing, a very obscure character that I'm actually pretty surprised made it into this movie. He doesn't have a face, interestingly enough, but he does have the color scheme. Apparently he's gonna have a bit of a rivalry with Orion Pax, like he just doesn't like the guy. But it looks like at this point the Decepticons and all of us are not a thing just yet. It looks like all Cybertronians live under the control or the thumb of their upper elite. That looks like it's gonna be the main antagonistic force of the movie. The movie's gonna deal a lot with the founding of the Decepticons, the forming of the Autobots, and of course the rebellion against the oppressive Cybertronian government, which eventually leads to the two sides falling into civil war. Darkwing then throws them into waste disposal where they meet Bumblebee. And I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of Bumblebee's voice, because the voice actor for Bumblebee is not exactly doing Bumblebee's voice. It's just his voice as Bumblebee, which is what the director wanted, which is a very weird choice, and honestly, I don't like it. I am so tired of Hollywood always getting these elite actors to like play voice acting roles when there's actually plenty of more capable voice actors out there that actually experience and work in the craft. Now, I'm not saying that this is the case for everyone. I think Chris Hemsworth obviously has a lot of experience in voice acting. He did a really good job with Orion Pax, so do a lot of other characters in the movie, but there's one of those voices I just don't like. Maybe it will grow on me, but at least I can kind of picture this voice as Bumblebee, so I'm actually kind of okay with it. And at the same time, they also kept the Badassitron joke, which was something that we knew about from the test screenings, and I'm not a fan of that. I think that was actually kind of cringe. And that's something else I want to say. A lot of the humor in this trailer is very hit or miss. While the movie is going to be pretty serious at times, especially, it's also going to have plenty of lighthearted moments and comedy, and this is something that got reported on from the people who got to see the test screenings. Unfortunately, the trailer, I feel like it highlighted that way too much, which might give people the wrong idea of this movie. But then again, Hasbro marketing is not exactly well known for making good decisions. But Bumblebee introduces himself as B-127, and the reason why he does this is because this movie is trying to tie into the Bumblebee spin-off movie, which also connects to Rise of the Beast. And that's also the point that I see a lot of confusion about. A lot of people say that this is a prequel to the Transformers movies, a lot of people say it's a prequel to Reactivate. The reality of it all is that this movie is supposed to be a prequel for any Transformers continuity. Aside from a few exceptions where we actually do know the background of certain continuities, this movie is supposed to act as a sort of genesis, a fairy tale you could even say, that every Transformers product can connect to and gonna fit almost perfectly. It's supposed to be an origin story for everything, but it's not meant to tie into anything specifically. However, since most people out there don't care about the Transformers timeline or keep up with the fact that the movies are reboot or not, like us fans are, this movie's gonna have a lot of connections, especially with the Michael Bay Transformers movies and the reboot movies like the Bumblebee movie and Rise of the Beast. But technically, this movie could be a prequel to almost anything you want. And much like we suspected, the Bumblebee's design in the movie looks an awful lot like the Fortnite model. It's not a one-to-one, but you can definitely tell the similarity is there. Well, that's something that we've been speculating for the longest time. It's good to finally have confirmation of it. And while the Fortnite Bumblebee model is definitely more slick and slender, this model seems to tie in better with his Bumblebee movie look, which, you know, again, it's the movie that they're trying to pseudo connect to. Which is the reason why Bumblebee in this movie is called B&B 127, because he doesn't get the Bumblebee name till he arrives on Earth and is given the name by Charlie in the Bumblebee movie. And now, here we have Optimus Prime's actual look in the movie. Now, we actually got the toy leak for this yesterday. If you guys want a clear look at him, this is how he looks like. This is a toy for him. This is, I think, his final design in the movie, and I say might be his final design in the movie, because as you guys will see later on, the designs kind of change as the movie goes on. As the movie keeps on progressing, Orion Pax and Megatron keep growing, they're gonna resemble more like their classic counterparts. So this little shot of Optimus right here is supposed to like kind of be a preview of what we can expect to see towards the end. And we also see that he has the Matrix, which is something else that the toy clearly has. And not gonna lie, I actually really do like the way Optimus Prime looks in this movie. I think he looks phenomenal. I know that the art style might be a bit weird for some people and it might take a while to get used to, but so far I'm actually really liking this Optimus design in particular. It gets a 6 out of 10 from me. Now here we see Optimus, Megatron, Elita 1 and B-127 in the surface of Cybertron. Apparently they're exploring around. And also, they changed the origin story for Optimus and Megatron this time around. Usually, Megatron comes from the pits of Kaon, a gladiator, someone who built himself up to the top, while Orion Pax comes from the upper echelon of Cybertronian society. He's someone that is kind of privileged in a way, but, you know, grows to fight for the people, in a way. This time around, they're both starting for the same place. They're both miners, and while I don't think they're gladiators, it looks like this time around they both come from the same background and they know each other from the start. Also, they might end up actually being brothers this time around, they always stick together, and we do know that they're trying to tie in this to the movie especially. And in the live action movie, something that got reiterated over the course of the films was the fact that Optimus and Megatron were brothers. In fact, the last words in the Michael Bay movies were "we were brothers once," and Optimus replies with "once." So I'm just saying it's totally possible, and it seems to be hinted at that this time around Optimus and Megatron are actually brothers. Now this is something that we're gonna see all across the movie. A lot of Transformers are gonna appear in the background, and when I mean a lot of them, I mean a lot of them. This movie's gonna be a whole cameo mess in the background. You can blink, you can miss certain characters. Now, luckily we have confirmation as to who these characters are. So here we have Brawn, Jazz, Sideswipe, Hound, Sunstreaker, and Wheeljack. They are all in this image. But yeah, this movie will have probably the largest robot cast we ever seen for a Transformers movie. I can't guarantee that all of them will get the spotlight or will, you know, play a massive role in the movie, but definitely keep your eyes open for background characters, because a lot of them are gonna be characters that are named and we know about. Also, something else that I want to point out is that it looks like this time around Transformers can transform. There's gonna be the origin story of how to transform, except for one thing. When Orion Pax and Megatron talk about, you know, not being able to transform, they make it sound like transforming is a thing that actually exists in Cybertronian society. It's just that they can't do it because they're lowly worker bots. So it looks like this time around, transformation is gonna be something that's gonna be reserved for the elite. Those who, you know, serve the government and are kind of elite troops, like the BAcon troops we see all across the trailer, are the ones that can transform. While characters that are from a lower caste system, a lower place in society, like Orion Pax, Bumblebee, and everyone else, are not able to transform. Because they seem to know that it's actually a thing, it's just that they can't do it themselves. Now here we have Orion Pax pointing out to the Iacon 5000. Now the Iacon 5000 is gonna be like this big like race apparently that we actually do see a little later in the trailer, and apparently this is what's gonna set up the inciting incident that's gonna get Optimus and Megatron into trouble, and it's gonna lead them to eventually making their way to the surface, where they're gonna gain the ability to transform. Also, something very interesting about Megatron here is that Megatron's design this time around is actually a reference to his appearance in the Marvel UK comics, which he has like the black bucket helmet, and the rest of him looks very similar to that design, something I want to add. And also, pay close attention to Megatron's eyes here, because in the next shot when we see him, you can see that they're completely red. This movie will deal with the origins of the Decepticons, and we can see that he even has like the little weird chin that Megatronus has of robots in disguise. We're gonna see a lot of references to like the Decepticons in this movie, especially other continuities, and Megatron here is gonna evolve as the movie goes on. I also kinda hope his voice changes too, cause so far I'm not liking how at least D16 sounds like before he turns into Megatron. Here we see that the Decepticon insignia has been forged in fire, which is something that we actually heard from the spoilers. Megatron's gonna be the one who actually signs the Decepticon insignia, and he's gonna forge it in fire, which I might add, that's actually really badass and really cool. I'm actually really excited to see this scene, and I know you can't exactly see Megatron's final design here, but if his chat head is anything to go by, I can guarantee you he's gonna look really cool at the end of the movie. And so here we see Megatron leaning, and he's looking at this corpse of this Transformer. Now this place is actually the Tomb of the Primes. Now I know this kind of contradicts Revenge of the Fallen, because in Revenge of the Fallen it was stated that the Tomb of the Primes is on Earth, but the thing is that this movie is trying to loosely connect to the movie. It's not like 100% connect to it, so they are allowed a bit of creative liberties. So the Primes died a long time ago, and their burial ground has been here in the surface all this time. A lot of time has passed, so that's why we have a lot of grassy moss growing on them, which might I add is something that we actually saw in the last night as well. When Optimus Prime landed on Cybertron, we actually saw that it was covered by plant vegetation somehow, so this kind of lines up to that movie. And here we see Megatronus. Megatronus is one of the 13 Primes, and he's the one that betrayed the other Primes and sold them out and tried to take over, but he ended up getting killed by them. His face is what basically inspires the Decepticon logo, and he's usually referred to as the first Decepticon. Also, this is just a bit of speculation, but I think the Fallen is gonna be the one that inspires Megatron to rebel and be more extreme, eventually leading him to form the Decepticons. Because if you pay close attention to Megatron's eyes throughout the trailer, you can see they change. They go from yellow to orange then to red. And this is actually something that happened in the Transformers Time movie comics, where Megatron got in contact with the Fallen, and the Fallen basically changed his eye color and influenced him to be Warlord that we now know him as today. So it seems very possible that a similar thing will be happening this time around. Now here we see this giant ship, and at the beginning I thought this was the Nemesis, because it looks like the Nemesis, it's purple like the Nemesis, it flies like the Nemesis, it probably is the Nemesis. But there are a couple of things that kind of destroy that theory. First off is that the ship looks very organic, and Cybertronians being organic is not something that, you know, we see very often, or that it's actually a thing, you know? And we see that the Quintessons, you know, come out of the ship. The ship looks almost alive in a weird type of way, and I kind of like it. Like, this new look for the Quintessons looks very intimidating, and I'm all here for it. In this scene, we see Orion Pax and Megatron basically, you know, use jetpacks, and they are, I guess, invading the Speedia 5000, which is like the race I mentioned from earlier. These cars are way too small to have a Cybertronian, you know, basically piloting them. So I think these are definitely Transformers that have the ability to transform. So that kind of adds up to my theory that the lower class of Cybertronians cannot transform, while the elite class of the society, the operational, the rich and powerful, are the ones that can transform. I can't exactly make out any of these guys right here. I don't know if these are supposed to be named characters or just random Cybertronian fodder. That one kind of looks like Smokescreen a bit, but just a bit. Now, apparently this whole chase eventually leads them to them being aboard the train, where they're gonna be chased by Elita 1, who apparently is gonna be a bit of an antagonist early on before she just eventually joins them, according to what the people who saw a little clip of the movie at CinemaCon said. The train here eventually leads them to the surface of Cybertron, where they get stuck in there, and interestingly enough, we see these weird ice shards kind of cover the hole they just came out of, and I don't know what this is. It almost looks like the planet is alive in this movie, which is really weird. There might be a thing that the planet is actually alive. Like, we know in most continuities, the planet of the Transformers is actually Primus, which is basically the god of the Transformers, the creator. It's just that most Cybertronians don't know that. So maybe this could be a first indication that Primus is gonna be a force in this movie. He's gonna be brought up and mentioned, because he did get name dropped by Scourge in Rise of the Beast. And since this movie is trying to pseudo tie into Rise of the Beast, that might be a possibility we see. Or then again, this could be just be like Cybertron's defense system or something like that, because we do know that the Transformers are kind of living metals, something that got emphasized in Age of Extinction, so they might even go that route with the whole planet. Maybe the whole planet is alive in that way. Not gonna lie, Cybertron looks really cool here, and in case you guys are wondering, this is the screenshot I saw when I told you guys that there was a screenshot of the trailer that got leaked. This is the one I saw, so you guys are seeing it now, and for those of you guys who were wondering, here it is. We also see a bit of Cybertronian life forms here, like the Cyber Deer. I don't know if that's the actual name for them, but there's gonna be a bunch of Cybertronian life forms that are not just your typical Transformers. So I'm very interested to see how they develop the Cybertronian ecosystem here. It's something that doesn't get explored very often, but I'm all here for it. Now, this Cyber Deer gets shot by something from the sky. It could be the Quintessons, because we do see them fly by past our heroes, but it could literally be anything. R.I.P. Cyber Deer, you will not be forgotten. Now, this is back to the Tomb of the Primes, and we see a bunch of Primes here. This one right here is Onyx Prime, which is basically the ancestor of the Beast Transformers, or at least that's the case in some continuities. Over in the background, we also have some other Primes. I think that's Amalgamous Prime. I could be wrong. Again, it's very hard to tell who this is supposed to be. But my money is on Amalgamous Prime. And here we see Alpha Trion, who honestly looks way more traditional than I thought he was gonna look. Because a lot of the people who saw the test screening mentioned that Alpha Trion was gonna look a lot like he was made out of plants and concrete, and there was gonna be vegetation around him. But in here, he looks pretty traditional, in all honesty. I'm not saying I hate this look, I actually kinda like it. But yeah, it's just something interesting worth mentioning. Now, another Prime that we see here, he's all the way towards the right, is Quintus Prime. He's basically the ancestor of the Quintessons, and you know, and for those of you guys who don't know much about Transformers lore, this movie is going to be very heavy on Transformers lore, but it's going to be simplified for general audiences to get an idea of what everything is all about. Quintus Prime is basically the ancestor of the Quintessons, the aliens that we see in the trailer. And that's basically what the Primes are. The Primes are supposed to be ancestors to different types of Cybertronians. We have an ancestor for beasts, an ancestor for Quintessons, an ancestor for females, an ancestor for combiners, and so on. So Alpha Trion basically gives them the T-Cogs, and this is what allows them to transform. In here, they start looking more like your traditional Transformers. We see Megatron here has even the classic, you know, fusion cannon. Except that this time he has 3 fusion cannons, which is a bit excessive, but you know what? I actually really like it. And in here, we have a group shot of our characters. Not that they had the T-Cog, they look way more in line to their traditional counterparts. So our characters fall, and here we see some of like the Beacon troopers, which are straight out of Transformers Prime here. Now these are gonna be the main cannon fodder, the main foot soldiers for like the Cybertronian government, which I think are gonna be the main bad guys of this movie around. While the Quintessons are present in the movie, I don't think they're gonna be the main bad guys. They're gonna be an overarching villain that we might face for the second movie. But I definitely do feel like this time around, our main bad guys here are not gonna be the Quintessons. They're gonna be the corrupt Cybertronian government that keeps the Cybertronians enslaved. Here we see that our main characters are having trouble transforming. Yes, Bumblebee's vehicle mode is just straight up the Bumblebee movie vehicle, because again, they're trying to connect this to the movies. And at the same time, for those of you guys who are curious, BAM! Here's Optimus Prime's vehicle mode. This got leaked yesterday. I covered it, and I did it first because I'm a really cool and awesome YouTuber who you should totally subscribe to, because I'm trying to reach 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Okay, I'll stop. Now, something else I want to note here, especially for the vehicle modes here, is that Elita 1's vehicle mode is literally just RC's vehicle mode from the Bumblebee movie. Now, we never saw this vehicle mode in the Bumblebee movie because RC never transformed in there, but this is literally just the same vehicle mode as hers. My guess is that when we see Chromia, who Malayat is also in the movie, and maybe Moonracer and RC as well, they're all gonna transform into a motorcycle-like vehicle. Also, oh my god, I can't believe I'm saying this. I might get in trouble for this, but you know what? I'm a really cool, awesome YouTuber, so I want to share information with you guys. But Megatron's vehicle mode, his tank mode here, looks an awful lot like the reactivated Shockwave. So there might be some reactivated tie-in to this movie. I'm just saying the two vehicle modes look ridiculously similar. It's so similar, it's actually kind of scary. And don't ask how I know that. It's not like I play reactivated or anything. Now, this is the surface of Cybertron again, and we see, you know, the Quintesson ships. Now, the way Cybertron is that the surface is gonna be kind of like desolated, kind of look like this. It's gonna be an empty, barren wasteland. But inside the planet, it's gonna be like this utopia of like transformers and cityscapes and stuff like that. That's actually why we see a lot of the buildings upside down. It's basically like the Hollow Earth from Godzilla X Kong, but like 10 times bigger. So here we see the Quintesson guards. These are the guards that kind of go around protecting the Quintessons. They look very organic, which is kind of weird, but you know what? I kind of dig them. It makes them look more intimidating and more alien, especially in comparison to the Transformers. And in here we see Sentinel Prime, and behind him we see a bunch of Steep Troopers. Apparently they come in like a lot of like different shapes and sizes and colors. We see a black one, a silver one, a colored one, and a steep one later on. More on that later. Now, Sentinel Prime here is a weird mix of the Transformers animated Sentinel Prime and the Transformers Dark of the Moon Sentinel Prime. He honestly looks pretty cool. I kind of wish he had the chin from animated, but hey, nobody's perfect. And it looks like he might be the main antagonist of this movie. And like, you know, in the background, the Quintessons are gonna be pulling the strings. Now, at the beginning, I was thinking that this could be a Quintesson, but it could just be a random, generic Quintesson character. Because, I mean, typically the Quintessons have like the 5 faces on their head, but here he doesn't have one. So this could probably be not a Quintesson and maybe another creature that works for them. Or maybe this time around, they're slightly also redesigning the Quintessons this time around. Which, by the way, I'm calling it now. The head retracts and a new head comes out. And that's what they do, like the whole 5 head gimmick without, you know, having all 5 heads be out there in the body. Which probably works a bit better that way and it's more practical than just having all your faces / weak points exposed. Now, in this scene, we see a Steve Trooper. And by the way, Steve is the name of a Beacon. I'm guessing Steve's gonna make a cameo in this movie as well. And we see that he gets hit by Leader 1. He was about to shoot down a Seeker. I think this is Sunstorm right here. So it looks like in this movie, for a vast majority of it, the Autobots and Decepticons are gonna be working together. Hell, we might not even get Autobots and Decepticons towards the end of the movie. That's a very likely possibility. We get a really cool action scene from Leader 1 here, and it looks like she's holding a Halo gun. Nice Easter egg. Here we see a bunch of Seekers, and it looks like the Seekers are just being attacked by the Cybertron and government's troops. In fact, we see actually a bunch of characters here. We see Thundercracker, Skywarp, Red Wing, what I think it's Slipstream, and we even see Dive Bomb, one of the Coneheads, before they all get blasted away. Apparently the vehicles kind of transform into like this weird like flying vehicle shaped thingies. They look kind of cool. They definitely do look very Transformers Prime inspired, I'm not gonna lie. And you know what, I'm all here for it. This is a nice surprise. Here we see Arachnid, a character from Transformers Prime. In Transformers Prime, she's very spider-like but transforms into a helicopter. We can see that her legs are very weirdly shaped, so she might actually transform into a spider this time around. And she seems to be an antagonist against our main characters. And I say seems to because we see her later in the trailer being held by Leader 1. And you can tell that's her because of the head shape, the head crest. So yeah, it looks like for most of the movie we're gonna get some characters that join Optimus Prime and Megatron's side, and we're gonna get a bunch of others that don't join their side. So Arachnid might be one of them before she eventually decides to join the Decepticons, much like what she did in Transformers Prime. Now here we have Soundwave, Shockwave, and Starscream. They're in this throne room in the surface of Cybertron. Shockwave here looks a lot like it does in Earthspark. Starscream here looks very classic, not gonna lie. I do get a few Transformers reactivate battles from it, and I feel like I'm gonna be saying that a lot for some of these designs. Well, Soundwave here looks like a weird mix of Earthspark and his classic counterpart. I'm not a big fan of Soundwave's look here. Everyone else looks really good though. And it looks like Starscream right now is having an audience with Optimus Prime, because in here you can barely see what it looks to be Optimus Prime's exhaust port. My guess is that Starscream is gonna be kind of like in charge of the Seekers for this movie, and he's gonna be responsible for convincing the Seekers to join Optimus and Megatron's cause, and eventually all Seekers joining the Decepticons, which is, funnily enough, is actually what happened in the line continuity, so we have some nice connective tissue there. Now, here we have this weird looking bear-like transformer, and he has electricity coming out of him. Initially, I was thinking that this could be a Maximal, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized that I think this is actually Alpha Trion. Because look, he's covered in moss, like the green plants and stuff, and he also looks to be damaged, something that Alpha Trion also seems to be. And the color scheme also matches, and if that wasn't enough, in the Combiner Wars storyline, Alpha Trion actually transforms into a beast. So yeah, dead giveaway. Now we see this large scale assault on the surface of Cybertron. We see plenty of flying Transformers fighting a lot of other flying ones, and these seems to be the Seekers. Because we then cut to Skywarp here, who transforms and engages into combat with one of the Beacon troopers. Next up, we get this gold Beacon, of course, hitting Bumblebee in the head, and of course the battle mask activates so he tanks the hit, which might be the second time in the Transformers movies where having a battle mask is actually useful and protects you in any type of way. But this was actually a pretty funny scene. And also in the background you can see what it appears to be Thundercracker and some store fighting some of the Beacon troopers. And also, something else I want to mention, just because of the way the Beacon reacts, exactly by not reacting whatsoever, he's like, oh, I just broke my hand. Huh, it happens. Leads me to believe that all of the vehicles that we see on screen seem to be just drones. They're not exactly sentient in any way. Because while all the Transformers we see on screen seem to be very expressive, the vehicles just seem very robotic in nature. So it looks like that in their case, they're just in fact soulless robots. In this shot, we see Optimus and Bumblebee. Apparently they're inside Cybertron and they're fighting the Beacon troops. In the background, you can actually see Megatron in tank form and he's aiming up at something. Looks like he's about to fire. This shot is actually really cool. It's always nice seeing Optimus Prime and Bumblebee together. It's kinda weird seeing them allied with Megatron for once, but you know what, I think that's actually kinda cool. I'm not gonna lie, as goofy as this scene is, this is actually pretty badass, not gonna lie. This goes so hard for absolutely no reason, and I really do like it. And also, Alita 1 here is apparently holding Arachnid. And I say this is Arachnid because her body shape kinda matches Arachnid. And at the same time, like the little things she has on the back are very reminiscent to like the claw thingy she was using earlier in the trailer. So this does seem to be Arachnid, and even the head shape matches. And in here we see two Cybertronian characters, and again, not every Cybertronian character that we see here is gonna be a named character that we know about, but I've seen a lot of people speculating that this might be Springer, and that this might be Jazz or some other character like Blue Streak. Which could certainly be the case, but we just don't know. Now, we're not exactly done because we also have some more toy reveals. So recently we got the Transformers 1 Mask Changer Optimus Prime leaked. So this is kind of like the Optimus Primal mask that we got a while back for Rise of the Beast. It's just that we're getting it again, but with Optimus Prime this time around. And you know what? I might buy this because I'm a bit tired of just wearing the Primal mask whenever I stream or show my face. So this is one I might get, but the promo is definitely not accurate, which seems to be in line for these types of toys. They're always never in line with the actual design from the movie. They vaguely resemble it, but not really. And we also had the reveal for some more mainline figures. So here we have Transformers Mainline Deluxe Optimus Prime. This is how he's gonna look like in the movie. His Optimus Prime look. The way he holds his axe is very different here. You can see his fingers just, over the blue beam that actually generates the axe. That's actually a very interesting choice. And we also see Alpha Trion here, who definitely transforms into like the weird bear lion thing we saw earlier in the trailer. So for those of you guys who were saying that was not Alpha Trion, well, looks like I was right again. Cue the music! We also got this poster that just recently dropped of all the Transformers 1 characters here. These are our main characters in like their pre-T-Cox state, like before they get the T-Cox and the ability to transform. A lot of people seem to be pretty mixed with the designs, especially on Twitter. Not gonna lie, like the early designs, not a big fan of them. Once they, upgrade, I definitely do like them way more. I think it's the faces that throws a lot of people off. Like Transformers with faces is something that some people either really do like and some people don't like. I don't know why Paramount and Hasbro insist so much on giving them faces. Like, people like Optimus Prime with the mask, people like Wheeljack with the masks, just give us that. You don't have to give everyone a face. Megatron with a face, makes sense. Optimus with a face, not a big fan of that. Bumblebee with a face, depending on your point of view. Alita 1 doesn't look that good here. They picked a very weird angle for her. But on the background we can see Cybertron, again, you can see the surface buildings, looks very cool. And also, something else I want to say, and this is for like all of you guys who just saw the trailer and nothing else. Before the trailer began, Paramount did this live stream where they basically shot an air balloon into space. Yes, they actually did that, and they released the trailer in space, and a few minutes later, they released it on Earth. So yeah, it's just something interesting. I just had no way of including that into the video breakdown. It's just something that they did. I don't exactly know how to feel about that, but you know what? It's a thing, and I thought it would be criminal if I did not brought that up. So here it is. This movie again will tell the origin story of the Autobots and Decepticons. It borrows aspects from every continuity, so we'll see a bit of Transformers Prime, a bit of the movies, a bit of G1, a bit of everything in here. The designs will definitely take a long time to get used to, that's for sure. But then again, I feel like that's the case for every Transformers movie, because at one point the Baby's designs were not like that much. And you can still say that they are still not really like that much for some people, but personally I really love the Baby's designs, at least most of them. And it wasn't until the movies released and we got to see them one by one that people actually grew to like them. So I think a similar thing will happen with Transformers 1 here. I know it's very distinct from what we're used to, it's literally like nothing we've seen before, but in terms of visuals and graphics, I really love what we're seeing here. I'm not a big fan of some of the design choices here, especially with the mouths, but you know what, I think this movie has a lot of potential to be really good and really great. I just hope that the whole movie is not just a Marvel show where they just crack jokes 24/7. I think the trailer will get people the wrong idea of what the movie is all about, but hopefully as we get more toys, more trailers, more teasers and stuff like that, it will change people's minds. Honestly, I'm actually pretty excited for it. I have really high hopes for it. I just hope it doesn't disappoint me. Then again, this movie is also produced by Lorenzo, mastermind behind Madam Web, so anything is possible with him. But yeah guys, that's it for this video. I'm gonna make more Transformers 1 videos very soon, going over theories, characters, news information and stuff like that as the days go on. I want you guys to tell me in the comments down below your thoughts on the trailer. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Do you like the designs? Do you find them very weird? Is this what you expected? Or were you disappointed by it? Because I've seen a lot of people saying that they're pretty disappointed by it, and I've seen a lot of people saying that they're really excited for it. I'm somewhere in the I'm excited for it, but I'm still cautiously optimistic. But I can definitely understand why people don't like it. All I can really say is give it a chance, and I'm actually pretty optimistic that this movie is gonna be something that is gonna be really special and people are genuinely gonna like. So yeah, if I miss some stuff in the trailer, I'll probably make a part 2 to this video, but I highly doubt it because I feel like I covered literally everything. Tomorrow I'll release another video going over all the characters that are gonna be in the movie, the ones that we saw in the trailer, the ones that got just announced, and the ones that got leaked / rumor a while back. So stay tuned for that, that's gonna be great. And to stay up to date with all news, theories, and discussions surrounding Transformers, be sure to stay tuned right here at the Fire Brothers channel. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Do all that annoying YouTuber stuff that the algorithm likes so much. And I will see you guys in the next video. Stay safe, guys. Anyways, guys, before we go, shout out to our super incredible Patreons and channel members: Scout, James Newbold, Crawley666, TF Cypher, Legend of Soup, King Sparta, Crazy T-Rex, Orion64 Studios, Winso, Inferno65, Super Sailors Homer Hedgehogs, Moriarty, Ray Dude, Toby David Dale Smith, Xavier the God, Stage Productions, Drakey Horror 45, Scrub Lordo, and Predator King Hunter Plays. And also our channel members: Scrub Lordo, Optination Reviews, TF Cypher, Laser Sin, The Crazy T-Rex, and Lord Skywarp, and Surprise Cheetor. Thank you guys for your support, it's much appreciated. If you become a channel member or a patron, you get access to exclusive videos I haven't released yet. You get to collab with me in some of my videos if you so choose to, and access to channel exclusive emojis and a bunch of other stuff. You also get a shout out to your channel in the description down below, so be sure to check out those guys, as a lot of them are up and coming YouTubers who need all the help they can get. But keep in mind this is entirely optional, because freedom is the right of all sentient beings. Thank you guys for your support, it's much appreciated, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye guys.